Hey guys, Alex here from Homeschool of Bel-Air. So if you're interested in finding out what we chose for our kindergartner for this coming school year, 2017-2018, stay tuned. So these are the top picks for my 5-year-old for next year when it comes to phonics, reading, language arts. I'll show you guys a little peek inside of these curriculums or why we chose them. So let's start with All About Reading. I like All About Reading because it's more of that hands-on approach as opposed to just doing worksheets all the time. So I think we'll probably be doing 1 or 2 lessons out of this book or out of this curriculum a week. So All About Reading is going to be probably our main reading curriculum, with the rest of it being not necessarily supplementary. I think everything is going to pretty much offer the same, the same thing. We just want to build a strong reader. So I think all these curriculums are just definitely, they're going to help just in different parts. This is going to be more of that hands-on approach, that kinesthetic type of learner that I know is inside of my 5-year-old. And then the Horizons is definitely going to be more of that worksheet curriculum for him. So let me go ahead and show you guys the rest of his reading curriculum. After much research on phonic programs, we decided to go ahead and stick with Horizons. I do feel like the readers are going to be a little advanced for him, but I mean, this is just how I feel right now. We'll see once we start. I did a lot of reviews, I watched a lot of videos, and this is the one that definitely stood out to me. The All About Reading I purchased through Rainbow Resources, and I believe it's $29. I can't remember. When it comes to the Horizons Book 1, I purchased Book 1 at Mardel. At Mardel, they're pretty much regular price at $24.99. This one I was able to find on Amazon, but it was the same price used. And it's a little bit of a gamble because you're not sure if some of the pages are written on. So I decided just to go ahead and grab it from Mardel. I did go ahead and take the gamble with book 2, 3, and 4. And I purchased these through Amazon used. Now, none of them have writing in it. But they were so inexpensive. I mean, you guys can definitely check Amazon to see. Always look at the description from the seller. The ones that I usually purchase are the ones that say used, but in great condition, or some even write details like pages are not written on, which is usually what I try to go for when ordering through Amazon, especially used. But I want to say the book 3 I got for, I want to say like $3, $5 in total, because I think it was $2 in shipping. The book 4, I think, was a more expensive one. I think this one I ended up paying like $8 used, but same, it has no writing in it. And then book 2, I also purchased through Amazon used. Same thing, I actually scanned through all of them, no writing. And this one I think was like $5 plus shipping. I think it was like $6 or something like that. So you can definitely find good stuff on Amazon used at a reasonable price. I just ordered the book 1 teacher's guide on Amazon. I found it for like $8, so I'm waiting on that to come in. And I'll probably just, as I go, order them, since I saw that they had every single one of them for pretty inexpensive. So that's going to be our curriculum for phonics and reading. And I'll show you, I'll just jump right into it. The other thing we're going to be doing lessons from is going to be the reading lesson. And this is Teach Your Child to Read in 20 Easy Lessons. Now, this one, and I have tried the Teach Your Child to Read in 100 Easy Lessons, but I feel like the fonts and the layout is a little confusing, and the stories are hard to understand because they use words like lad and other old-timey words where most of the time I'm explaining to the kids what these words mean and how they pronounce it as the. So I feel like it's just a lot more explaining. So now with this one, the stories are cuter, the lessons are longer, but the stories are so much cuter. It's way easier to understand. I'm actually doing lessons out of this with my 1st grader just to reinforce his reading. But I think we're going to go ahead and start this with my kindergartner next year. So this Big Mama Jama, this is my curriculum that I purchased him from a Crafty Classroom, and this is the READ curriculum: ready, eager, and able, determined to read. What I liked about this curriculum and stood out to me is that they focus every lesson on word families, and every 5th week you also get a blend week, consonant blends that you focus on every 5th week. It's a lot of prep work. It's approximately 785 pages worth of curriculum. It is a 4-day-a-week based curriculum, which I also liked because I think that'll give us a chance to work on all about reading maybe on the 5th day, do a lesson from there, or the reading lesson book. Also, with this curriculum, you get 2 to 3 sight words a week, depending. I think at the beginning you only get 1, and I think you gradually start getting 2 to 3 sight words a week. It also features a 60-page interactive grammar notebook, and I created him a little spiral notebook where we're going to be adding the pages for the interactive notebook. It also has a science sequencing portion to it. It also has weekly writing prompts, guided writing prompt pages. It's a $25 PDF that you purchase through the Crafty Classroom. I believe it's supposed to be a complete reading curriculum. But like I said, it focuses a lot more on just word families and consonant blends. So I'll give you guys a little peek inside. So the way that I set it up is I bought the little tabs, and I was only able to find the 1 through 32, and then I purchased the 1 through 5. And I ended up just writing in with the Sharpie 33, 34, 35, 36, because it is a 36-week curriculum. So this way I have it set up week by week. And one of the first things you do is you get out your I Can Rhyme card. And these I printed on cardstock just because I'm probably going to either use them as posters. I purchased one of these sign holders from Office Depot. They were actually on sale for like, I think $5 the other day that I went. And what I'm possibly going to do for him is just set it up on his desk. Like a little poster just like this. That's probably the way I'm going to set it up on his desk for that week that we're focusing on that letter. It also comes with the letter sound chart, which I also printed out on cardstock just because I'm probably going to stick it inside a protective sheet and have him maybe color this in if he wants the first day. And obviously this is the one that he's going to be using to sound it out. Ah, ah. And there, you know, he can do little activities with that. But like I said, I printed it on cardstock. She doesn't say that you have to do these in cardstock. I just thought it'd be great because I will be using this curriculum with my little one when she goes into kindergarten. The other thing this curriculum has is you have your handwriting sheet, then you have your blank word family template, which the child can pretty much do whatever he or she pleases with. The sight word cards, which we could either cut out and use as flashcards or just leave them as is and just, you know, go through them every day and read. What's wrong, baby? Okay, and then for Tuesday, you have the sounded out sheet, and I know it's sideways, and it's hard to see. She did create this PDF on more of a grayscale, which actually allows you to save a lot on ink. Well, like I said, this is a sounded out sheet, and then you get the word find or write and find. You get to write the words in here and find it in here, and then you have the spinner winner, which you get to spin the word and write it in and then work on your sight word. For Wednesday, you get to reinforce read and respond. So it's I guess it's more of a reading comprehension sheet. So by this point, Wednesday, you should start to comprehend what you're reading. Well, you should be able to read these sentences and comprehend. So it gives you a few little questions on what you just read. This would be a little making words with the little letter tiles. I don't know yet if I'm going to have them cut this out. We might use little magnets for the words. We'll see. And then a nonsense word or real word. So he would create the words here. And then you get the coloring page or find and color word family. So I guess he would just color in the pictures that end in am. And then the maze. And this is a sight word maze, and it's hard to see, but inside the maze itself, his sight words are in here, like I, and he would just have to find his way to am, I, So this week he does have 3 sight words. He has a, am, and I. And then a little book. And I believe this is for Thursday. I'm trying to look through my notes here. Yeah, the story reader. So this would be his little story reader. We would just cut this out, have him color it, and it would be a little book. And then his little sight word practice, which is pretty much the last thing of the week. What I didn't cover though, because I didn't stick them inside the notebook, and I'll show you guys the way that it's set up also for the week. Tuesday and Thursday, you get a page for your interactive notebook. So here we have the little interactive notebook that I created for him. And I made this, I downloaded the picture and created it on PowerPoint for him. But I just typed in Language Arts Notebook, so this is going to be his little interactive notebook for this curriculum. So every week he gets 2 pages for the interactive notebook. So the first week is nouns, so this would be for Tuesday, and then this one would be for Thursday. Every Thursday, the other thing along with the interactive notebook, but this would just be on Thursday, he gets a little guided writing sheet. And same thing, he would go ahead and cut this out, and that's what she says. She says, draw a face on the child and cut and paste into your notebook. So these pages would also go inside the little interactive notebook. The other thing he would get on Thursday is a crown. And like I said, I just chose not to put these inside the little binder because I almost just put all the worksheets in there, minus the ones that are going to go inside the interactive notebook and the crown. Every 5th week, she does a consonant blend week. So that would be like week 5. So we would focus on the consonant blend, blah, fla, and there's activities for those. Blah, sla, activities for those. Sorry, just trying to go quickly so you guys can see. And then same thing, I printed out the rhyming, the I Can Blend sheets on cardstock, and those are the ones that I'm probably going to go ahead and stick inside the little poster holder. Stick it in there for that week. Same thing, I'm probably just going to stick these inside a little protective sheet and just have them work from there. This one, I believe you can write in the BL or the blah, and then blend, color the pictures, write down what they're saying or what it is. This is the way that the blend weeks look. Also on the blend weeks, it comes science sequencing sheet. Same thing, we're gonna go ahead and cut these out and glue them inside our language arts little notebook. And then you also get a drawing right. So you get these every Monday and Wednesday on the blend weeks only. And I labeled them, so week 5, Monday. For instance, like the science one, this would be on the Monday, week 5 Monday, and then week 5 Wednesday. And it's a little bird's nest one, so he would just have to sequence like what comes first, you know, the nest, and then the nest and eggs, and then the little baby birds. So it's something as simple as that, which I thought was very age appropriate for kindergartner. These are our picks for writing and spelling, and I'll show you guys a little quick overview. So for writing, we decided to go with the handwriting without tears. And I kind of like the way that they set it up with the little squares, and the letters have to fit inside the little squares a little more so than the way the Xander Blaser is set up. I didn't purchase a chalkboard, and I didn't purchase the little letters, only because I have some of these that I printed out a while back and laminated on cardstock. And they work just fine. I have a little whiteboard that he can use for this. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and be using the handwriting without tears. And that's what it looks like, so you guys can see. And this one is the letters and numbers for me. Spelling, I went ahead and got him the Words Their Way word study notebook, kindergarten level. Now this one is very minimal writing. It's a lot more cutting and pasting, building words. The first couple pages are actually just basic concepts, shape sorting, color sorting, and then it goes into letter sorting or letter sound sorting. And finally, I believe you start to actually write words by lesson, and I think it's by lesson 8 is when you actually start. I've never used this curriculum. This is actually my first time using it, so we'll see how it goes. My first grader's using the first grade level now. We just started it. So far, so good. He's enjoying it. Nothing too crazy for a 5-year-old. I think he'll like it. So math, I decided to go with the Singapore math. And I stuck to the essentials math, not the primary mathematics. I actually watched a few reviews on the Singapore math, the primary mathematics, and I forgot the lady's name that did a review, side-by-side review on the primary mathematics and the essentials math. And it's pretty much the same types of lessons. It's covering pretty much all the same thing, minus color. That's the only thing that these are missing. These are just black and white, very simple pages. The animations are just as cute, easy to follow. It just doesn't have color, and that was the main difference with the primary mathematics and the essentials. At a fraction of the price. These were $23 for the two of them, and I got them through Rainbow Resources, as opposed to the primary mathematics, which I believe was $29 for each book. And that's not even including the teacher's manual. And these, I believe, don't even come with the teacher's manual. So I decided to just go with this for the price. I mean, I just felt like it's the same thing, and we're okay with just the simple pages. I mean, it'll even give them something to do if I decide to have them color. So we went ahead and stuck with this. So math, Singapore Math Essentials Math, Kindergarten A and B. Geography. So one of the things I had started with my kids this past summer was this one, the complete book of maps and geography. The only problem is that it's grades 3 through 6. So we started it and it was a little harder. The writing's a little smaller. It was harder for the kids to follow. And I mean, they're little, and they were smaller ones when we decided to start it. So I ended up just kind of setting this on hold. We'll probably do this maybe in another year or so. So what I did end up finding is the Evan Moore grades kindergarten through 2nd beginning geography. This book is so cute, and I'm so glad I found it. Let me get this one out of the way. It's a lot smaller, and I found this used at Half Price Books. There's no color to the book again, but I think it'll make a good little coloring if I have the kids color. But it starts with something as simple as a map of your room, and a map of the street, a map of a neighborhood, and so forth. And that's pretty much how it starts. And then little by little starts going into parts of a hill, and hills and mountains, and map skills, north, south, east, and west, and and into using a map grid. And so I think it's more age appropriate, I think, and I think we're going to enjoy it just a little bit better than we were enjoying the other one. So again, it's the Beginning Geography by Evan Moore, grades kindergarten through 2nd. Social Studies. So for Social Studies, I found the Scott Forsman All Together textbook and the workbook. It's super colorful, super bright. It covers history, economics, science and technology, geography, culture, citizenship, government, national symbols, and I believe that's it. Super colorful book. Lessons are super easy, super short. I think we'll be able to go through this quite quickly. I also love that it has really cool little stories that we can probably even look into. Like here, they're talking about George Washington Carver. We can definitely maybe even set up a little unit study on George Washington Carver. With the workbook. Now the workbook, I think might be a little advanced for my kindergartner next year, but my first grader would definitely be able to work out of it. I might just make copies out of this book and have them do the activities. Yeah, I think we would have to. But I went ahead and found the textbook and the workbook through Amazon, and I want to say this was like $4, and the Social Studies altogether was like $7. But I'm excited to start this coming year. So Scott Forsman Social Studies altogether. Science. I know, weird. Is just a folder. Well, I ended up finding this complete science curriculum based on the Magic School Bus, and it's most of the lessons are 3 parts. You get the lesson plans. Most of the lessons actually have an experiment to go with it, and then an activity worksheet. I found this through, let me see if I can find her name, ourcozyden.com. And this is a quick little layout of the lessons. So you have the lesson number, the episode number of the episode that we have to watch for that day, get lost in space, the topic outer space, and then supplies. It gives you a little supply list. So items that represent planets. For that one, it doesn't give you an experiment or anything like that, but I do feel like we're gonna go ahead and build a solar system for that one. So let me show you I'm gonna jump over to lesson 3. Lesson 3 is, or 103, episode 103, Inside Ralphie, and it's about germs. And for supplies for that one would be 2 apples. And for this one, I believe it does have an experiment. So you have your lesson plans here, and then you have your activity sheet. You would have to draw what's happening to the apple on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5. And this is why I'm choosing to do this just once a week, because a lot of the experiments are having to wait 5 days in order for you to check on whatever experiment you're doing. So I think once a week will be fine. So that's what we're going to be doing for science, which I think will be fun. Both my kids love Magic School Bus, so I think this is going to be a fun little curriculum to follow for science for this year. Last but not least, art. So what I've been using this year is a hardcore Art Express curriculum. Absolutely love it. It gives you lesson by lesson what you're going to be talking about for that week. Creating the first day of school we did our first lesson was creating a sketchbook. So I had all my kids create a little sketchbook. And the reason I want to redo this curriculum next year is because I want them to see their improvement from one year to another, and what big of a difference it'll make just a few months in their learning. So I'll give you guys a quick example as to how I do this. So for instance, lesson 15, which was 2 weeks ago, this was our lesson, and it was color value. So what I did is I went ahead and went on YouTube. I just typed in color value for kids, and sure enough, a bunch of videos popped up explaining color value to kids. So we went ahead and did that quick, watched the little video. I read them pretty much this little area. We talked about the 2 pieces of art that they gave us in an example. And then in the studio, it says, paint a picture of a group of people use black and white paint to make colors darker or lighter. And this is what my 7-year-old did. He painted himself and his best friend being chased by a dinosaur, and we talked about color value and how you add black to make the colors darker. So he used it for the dinosaur, he used it for the sky, he used it for the grass. So he got the gist of it, but I'm excited to see how this is going to translate next year when we do the same lesson again. Now the other thing I'm going to incorporate into our art, because I found this book at Goodwill, and I was actually really excited to find it. And I found it for like $2, I think, at a Goodwill. It's the Big Book of Painting and Sticking. And what I liked about this art curriculum is that it's way different than the Art Express. This one focuses a lot more on stamping and actual printing, or scraping, I want to say. Like, I don't know if anybody ever did those the scraping art, but a lot more stamp building and things like that. And my husband used to be a screen printer when he was a lot younger, and he loves the art of screen printing. And I think I want to incorporate this because it's almost like a beginning type of screen printing, in the sense that we do a lot more stamping and creating stencils and things like that, which I'm really excited about. So I think for the following year, we're going to be doing art twice a week. I'm going to try to make another video showing you guys what I'm actually doing for my preschooler this year. Well, thanks for watching. See you next time.